I got a quick one for you guys today. Sadly, not quick enough to be a YouTube short like I wanted it to be, but a quick one nonetheless. Today, we're going to be showing you how I set up my rebuilds to be in the offseason with the updated rosters, the updated draft order, and the updated draft class. I was going to have this up on Sunday, then I was like, you know what? The draft is almost on. What's even the point? Then I realized, you know what? It's going to take a little while for these rosters to actually be built up. So this still is going to be relevant after the draft because you can just draft the players that the team did in real life. So we're going to get right into it real quick. And if this ends up helping you out, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Regardless, let's get into it. The first thing you obviously want to do is go to the draft center where you have all of the rosters. Unfortunately, the username search just seems kind of off. So you're going to be kind of looking for Big Gargamel, who has been kind of the Madden franchise guy this year, if you will. Very good rosters, solid draft classes, and you pretty much just want to look for him in these download centers. I'm trying to find them, see if I can find them quickly. There's so many. And there he is. He's about near the bottom-ish, but as long as you find that gamer tag, you will be able to find that download and load the file. Once you do that, of course, I'm going to show you in real time, so I don't want people to get confused, get lost. You end up going over to the load. You end up going to roster. You click one of these. Boom. That should be loaded. And then, of course, with the updated rosters, you shall see pretty much, everyone up to date. I'm pretty sure he has every single player. You can see Joe Milton on the Cowboys. That's one of the more recent sort of big names, if you will. And with that roster loaded, you want to go to play offline solo. The reason why you go offline is because you can create save files, which if you do that, once you set it up once, you can make a bunch of different save files and you don't have to set it up ever again. If you do online, I warn you, if you do online, you cannot save. So all your work will be literally for a single playthrough. I'm going to be starting up, though, with the Seattle Seahawks. You're wanting to see how Sam Darnold looks. I don't know. Of course, some of the big things you want to probably set up are your quarter length. I usually do this for my, for how I do my rebuilds, but you do how you want. Pretty much just as long as you got pre-existing injuries off, I think you're fine. Everything. These are, basically how I set it up every time. I kind of know all these ratings by now. Then, of course, start in the preseason if you would like to do that. Then the first thing I do is I end up going to at least the main players that matter the most, to their players like DK Metcalf, and make sure they have the contracts that they're supposed to be signed to. I think DK's on a 5-year 150. So in this situation, I'd be like, okay, let's just call him $20 million on the year. We'll do a 6-year deal. We'll put, $170 million on his contract. And that basically, allows him to stay for the 5 years he's supposed to in real life. Of course, I'm not going to show you every single one, but if you want all the contracts to be accurate, you just have to add an extra year to what they got in real life, basically, because you're going to have to sim this first season. Then the next thing I do is I make sure all of the XP sliders are on 0, because I don't want these guys progressing throughout the season. I have also, of course, put the age regression down to 50%. Another thing you could do if you really want to keep guys like Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, guys you're expecting to at least play another season, even though we don't really know about Aaron Rodgers, is you can also drop their age to well below regression rate, under 30, and you can keep them around longer. I usually do that for Rodgers at minimum and Stafford. And after that, you're going to want to make sure all of the win-loss force wins are correct to try and get as close as physically possible. Right now, for the most part, every time I sim, you get the right playoff teams, which is half the battle, because once you get the right playoff teams, you can just make the trades for the draft picks themselves later. Now, of course, before you end up doing any simming, I would make sure that you import the roster for the draft class of SGR 2025 DC Final. That will be Big Gargamel yet again. Then when you do that, you can save, make a couple of save files, start simming to the playoffs. Also, in case you don't know how to save, it should be on the bottom left hand of your screen for your respective platform. For Xbox, it's right analog stick click. Assume probably the same thing for PlayStation. Once you're in the playoffs, of course, make sure you also force win the playoff teams that should win, which should be pretty straightforward. We are now, of course, at the home stretch. The only thing left to do is see how bad the draft order is, which sometimes you get lucky. You can see here the Titans at number 1. Can we see the Browns at number 2? Number 2 for the Browns. Giants number 3, and then so on and so forth. This is actually one of the luckier ones I get. The Patriots almost always wrong at 5. There's usually about 8 teams you have to switch, but once you get those down, make sure you look up the draft order. It's pretty simple. I usually look at like Tankathon, which is always funny to see. It's like it's in red when you win some games because you're supposed to be tanking. But yeah, not many teams are wrong. I'd say if I want to go through the list of teams that are wrong, the Bears, the Browns usually, Buccaneers almost always, Cardinals, Chargers and Packers always need to be flipped, Colts usually, and then I think you have the Falcons, Giants, Jaguars, Jets, Packers once again with the Chargers, Panthers usually, Patriots usually, Raiders usually, Rams and Vikings need to switch. And it's the Rams and Texans, I think, need to switch. And then that's it. But make sure you just have the order right. And then after that, if you want to save from there instead of beforehand, you can save from there. And you basically have unlimited, updated off-season starting points. If this video helped you at all, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. And if it didn't, I apologize. See ya.